my friend surprised me with a PC part. So let's remove the old one and place new one. Enjoy! So let's start with the obvious change, and that is my monitor. So my new monitor now is Gigabyte 27-inch, and the model is GS27QA. So let's open this package first. So monitor was very well protected. And you will see now outside of this styrofoam protection, you will be able to see that all parts are located there. So I will show you now what you actually get. So this is a monitor stand. This is the connection cable and power supply cable for your monitor. And this is my monitor. Firstly, I was confused how to remove this, but then I realized just by holding this foil, protection foil, you can very easily remove it from this protection package. And there it is. You need to make sure that everything is clear on your table before you place it back, but you can see how better it is. And of course, one of the stars of the evening, my cat. Of course, we will start first with monitor stand. On the monitor you can see the placement where the monitor hand, if I can call it that way, basically connection between monitor and main stand. So here it is. On the monitor it's very easily placeable. You need to make sure that the alignment is perfect. And I will show you how that is done. As you can see, you need to make sure that everything is perfect order. Once you connect that, then you connect the main stand. And there we go. This is my new monitor. Perfect gaming performance monitor with all needed updates, details, as well as the lots of options to choose from. Now I will show you how my PC looked like before I started disassembling it. As you can see, my PC case is NZXT H6 Flow. So let's dismantle it. You have the small screws on the both sides. So first side you need to remove is the glass one. Make sure that you do it very easily, just to avoid any kind of issues, especially since this glass is breakable and can easily be destroyed. So make sure that you are placing it on the flat surface. Next thing is removing the back panel. Back panel, same thing, only one screw. You can remove it by your hand and place it back by your hand, and you will see my power supply there, as well as the SSD and a hard disk. Believe it or not, I was using that. Now you need to remove the top part of the case. Sometimes it could be the tricky one, but you need to make sure that you place your hand closer to the end as possible, and then push and pull, and there we go. So this was my PC. So first I will remove my graphic card. Only two screws are located here, so screwdrivers must have this magnetic parts. It's much easier to disassemble anything with them. Just to make you aware, we're using same graphic card for my new PC, so that will not change. My graphic card is AMD Ryzen RX 1960, and it's 16 gigabytes, of course. So as mentioned, it will stay on my PC. Once you removed the mentioned screws, you will need to make sure that you are pressing the button on near the graphic card right there. So once you press it, it is very easy to remove your graphic card. Once you remove it, make sure that all the connectors are removed. Once you remove the connectors, make sure that you review, does it have any kind of dust on it. But as you can see, it's clear because it's nearly a brand new. On to the next one. The next one will be removing my part of the water cooling from my old CPU. So use this screwdriver to remove those 4 screws. And then of course make sure that all the connectors are removed after that. As you can see, this is my CPU covered with the thermal paste, and that was getting closer to be exchanged anyways. So after nearly 2 years, I now dismantling this, so it was anyways time to change the thermal paste. Right now I'll show you the screws that are holding the power supply unit and my graphic card and the removed full removed NZXT water cooling. I will not show you this because basically it's the same thing, and when you fitting it and removing it from your PC, so there's basically around 6 to 8 screws on the top of your PC case. You remove it very easily, and of course double check is there any dust. What you're able to see is the NZXT 360 Kraken water cooling, which is for me one of the best water cooling options, and you will need to clean it every around 2 years. So based on the paperwork, based on the specification that I got, so it was a time to clean it, so I done that as well. Once everything is removed, make sure that the all connectors are removed from your motherboard. Please make sure that everything is removed from your motherboard, every single cable. Make sure that all the connectors are removed, just avoid any kind of issues. That will be our first step to remove the motherboard from this PC case. Then of course black screws needed here for your motherboard to be fully removed. You need to remove them, unscrew them. It's usually around 6 to 8 screws, and this is the motherboard that I will use now. It is B650 gaming version 2. So as you can see, the packaging and protection is very high level, and I'll do the comparison between those two. Biggest problem that I have with the motherboard is missing screws. I never see them in a package for some reason. Screws are used to connect your motherboard to the PC case. So this was my motherboard that was in, and this is the new one. Very big difference, much more protection for the parts on the new motherboard. Old motherboard feels like fully naked, to be honest. The new, very high amount of protection. Now the next thing is my new M.2, which is kickstand of 2 terabytes. I don't see the point taking anything bigger than this one, but of course if you want to have the big collection of the games, then push for more, but for me this is fine. There you go. So this is the place where the M.2 goes. You actually have 3 empty spaces for the M.2. As you can see here, this is the main panel. So I will place my old M.2 from the other motherboard here, only for the system purpose, and the rest will be an SSD that I had, that you saw, and the new M.2. So I will have around 3 terabytes of memory available for me. A little bit more than 3 terabytes. And you can see here there is a place for the little screw that will protect your M.2. And here it goes. So this second panel is as well for the M.2, and there goes the processor. So both of these panels are protecting those M.2s from any kind of heating issues. Best possible purpose, especially since this main M.2 and the other M.2s will be near mostly under the graphics card. So the next thing is my new CPU, which is Ryzen 7 9800 X3D. I was stunned when I saw this, and to be honest, I'm glad that I'm having this. So package is very simple, without the cooler, so it's just simple thing, processor and one sticker, and that's basically it. On the motherboard, you need to make sure that the protection is fully removed, so I can place my new CPU in. So make sure that you fit it accurately. You have one corner that is actually showing you how the CPU is placed. Now we switch myself to the RAM, which is Vengeance RAM with RGB option, and it's a crosshair RAM of 32 gigabytes of DDR5. Just for the purpose of showing, I will just place it on the first location, but just to make you aware, it is best to place it on the second and fourth slot. So this is how it looks like. Really awesome and much better than the old one. So motherboard goes in here, and this is the first fitment. Of course, the screws must be used. As mentioned, new motherboard does not have any screws, so I don't know why, but yeah, I'll just use the old ones instead from my old motherboard, and there we go. So the next thing will be putting back the water cooling. So first things first is to place those black distancers and make sure that you put the certain screws inside of them as well. So here it goes. Make sure that you place them accurately around those small holes for the special screws, that they're two-sided, and on top of them there goes the final screws, so you may need to make sure that the longer side is going in and the shorter side is going out. Of course, NZST offers lots of different options for the different motherboards and CPUs, so make sure that you pick the correct one. So you need to be very careful with this because it must have a certain amount of option left on top for the screw to go on this, so make sure that everything is same height, so to avoid any issues. Once you place this, then what you need to do, place the full water cooling back, and of course after that you will need to place the thermal paste. The question I will answer straight away is that I will use the thermal paste, which is again the Gigabyte one, and of course I will use the X pattern of the thermal paste because that X pattern covers everything on your CPU, so it is best possible way to protect your CPU that way. Once you place the water cooling and connect it with your motherboard, prior to that, what you should do is what I did, is place the water cooling main part on top of your case. As you can see, I managed to clear the dust, and now the next thing is putting this beast of a graphics card back. So here it goes, and you can see those heat protections for the M.2s, which is perfect thing that I placed in this version 2 of these motherboard. Once I place the graphic card, I place back my power supply in, and after that I was dealing with the cable management, which is actually much better when I place this new motherboard because I need shorter cables for it. For the other motherboard I need longer cables, which created lots of issues and pain, to be honest. You will see that in a minute. Since everything is completed now, I will let you enjoy it with some videos of the my RGB setup in full. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and we will see what we will do with my old PC. Will I actually create another video to actually assemble it again, buy a PC case, and I need to buy a new power supply as well for it. But for that, we will see. It's up to you to decide, maybe. And you can as well support me with that. And you can support me by gifting me. There will be a link on the description that you can send some gifts, as well as support me with the next steps. That was buying some PC games to test with you, and to consider my luck in regards to the CS2 cases. So of course you can support that as well. All of this will be available on one link, so you decide if you want to do that. I hope that you enjoyed. Please like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.